Most Christians believe that the establishment of Israel in 1948 is the fulfillment of God's prophecies.
Well, I'm going to start a prophetic timeline back at 1948, and we're going to bring it up current, and we're going to look at prophecies that have been fulfilled. Number one, this is prophetic fulfillment number one, 1948, Israel reborn for the second time. Isaiah 11. It shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people who are left from Assyria and Egypt, from Pathros and Cush, from Elam and Shinar, from Hamath and the islands of the sea. He will set up a banner for the nations, and he will assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Well, so Israel is the only nation in the history of the world that has been dispossessed twice and has come back. The first time they were dispossessed is around 500 BC. The Babylonians came, defeated Israel, and took them out of the land and took them to Babylon. And after 70 years, they returned to the nation of Israel. So they were reborn for the first time. The second time they were reborn is in AD 70. The Romans killed over 1 million Jews, took the rest of them and took them captive back to Rome. They ultimately were scattered around the world. And then in 1948, for the second time, the only nation that has come back two times, in 1948, in one day, Israel became a nation.
According to dispensationalism, that is the belief in a future second coming of Jesus and in a future millennial reign, between 70 AD and 1948 AD, there has not been any other recovery of the remnant of God's people. But how do they know that between 70 AD and 1948 AD there's not been any other returns of the Jews to Israel? Because according to them, there is nothing mentioned in history about a second return to Israel, Jesus' return, or the 1,000-year reign in our past. But how do they know that history is right? Yet the belief in a future second coming of Jesus and a future millennial reign is based on this history. The remnant of God's people, mentioned in Isaiah 11 verse 11 and 12, were assembled for a second time around 200 AD. The history of Israel records the majority of Israel being Jews by 300 AD. By the 4th century, Israel was a Christian nation. According to the text, in the 1st and 2nd century, not all Jews were killed, expelled, or sold into slavery. In the 3rd century AD, the majority of the population of Israel was Jew again. By the 4th century, Israel was a Christian nation. So the outcasts of Israel were assembled by the 3rd century AD. Israel became a Christian nation by the 4th century AD. And this would have correlated with the establishment of the 1,000-year reign within the 1st centuries AD. Jesus foretold that he would return while his audience would still be alive. The final judgment would happen the moment Jesus would come in his glory with all the angels. Jesus confirmed many times that his audience would still be alive to see him come in his glory with the angels to judge all nations. Matthew 16:27, Luke 9:26 and Mark 8:38 testified that his audience would still be alive to see Jesus return. Revelation prophesied that the ones who pierced him would see Jesus return with clouds. And Jesus would come quickly 2,000 years ago. Scripture confirmed that the gospel was preached in all the world, hence Romans 10:18, 16:25 and Colossians 1 verse 5 and 23. After 1,000 years, the devil was loosed, deceiving the people and gathering them together to war. We now live in the season after expiration of the 1,000 years.